Welcome to Memorial Cooking Innovations. I'm Tim Scallon, registered dietitian.
And I'm Manuel Marini, executive chef.
So how are you doing, Manny?
Doing good. How about you, Tim?
Good. You know, I had a viewer stop me at the other day and ask me, what's the difference between a chef and a dietitian?
What did you tell him?
A chef is an artist. A dietitian is a scientist. What do you think?
Whoa, good answer. So a chef is blending flavors just like an artist would using colors on a palette.
Beautiful. And a dietitian would be to educate and better eating habits, teaching
healthy eating. Wow, that's a good answer. Okay.
Beautiful.
So
what's on our menus?
Well, Tim, we have a very good menu today. We're using seasonal foods, and so it's all things pumpkin.
Pumpkin. Wonderful,
yes.
Wonderful.
We're going to start off with a pumpkin corn chowder. How's that sound, Tim?
That sounds wonderful.
And then we're going to come back with a pumpkin stuffed pork loin.
Okay. Pork loin.
Now, Tim, you said that pork loin is lean, so we can use it.
Okay. All right. That's true.
Yeah. And then we finish up with a nice, delicate pumpkin mousse.
Ooh, wonderful, wonderful.
So we've got our menu all lined up, but first we have to learn how to. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was going to say you're going to show me how to cut a pumpkin.
Yes, we have to learn how to cut a pumpkin. So, Chef Manny, how do you turn something like this into something like this? Because, you know, we all see this, it's a decoration, but we want to turn this into food. So, show us on that.
Okay, here's the catch. Pumpkins this time of the year, because we've had such a big drought, they're even tougher. You know, I've noticed them, they're tougher now that they were then. A nice sharp knife, but I got a special tool, Tim.
Okay. So this is something that every kitchen should have to cut a pumpkin with.
I got a special tool, Tim. No, seriously. You know what? Let me show you. Just a good knife. And always pay. This is one of those things that I always say, be careful with your knife. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the pumpkin has been washed. I have my rag right here. All right? So, the good thing about it is when you're looking at a pumpkin, make sure it has a nice flat surface. Okay? One of the things that I personally like to do is to cut it in half.
Okay.
Okay, you could do it that way, or you could actually cut this in and then turn around and cut this in, and then like a melon or a watermelon or a cantaloupe or any other fruit, and just cut it slowly.
Okay.
All right? Or the other one would be, Tim, that we bake it in the oven for a little bit. Okay. All right, so that softens the skin up a little bit.
Oh, so
that way you won't have so much.
And that might actually be a safer way rather than wrestling with something that's tough.
That's tough like this right here. So
now, give me an idea how long to bake this and for how.
You know, this right here, to me, wash it really good.
Yeah.
You know, you still got to cut it in half because I don't know how big the pumpkin is and will it fit in the oven.
Right.
If it fits in your oven, great. If not, just cut it in half, lay it face down, and then, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, 200, 250 degrees.
So it's a low temperature.
Very low temperature. You just want the skin to kind of warm up. It kind of helps it.
And it'll soften up a little bit.
Definitely.
Okay.
So anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're going to get to the center of it, like I told you, and you just got to really be careful what you do. And all I do is, you know, just follow it through, and we're just going to cut it in half. Okay, Tim? Mm-hmm. Now, talking to Chef Mike.
Yeah.
We're talking to Chef Mike about when it's time to clean it, right?
Yes.
Let me show you something real quick, which is a really nice pumpkin.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave this one right here, okay, Tim?
And you see these seeds? You know, rather than throwing those seeds away, pumpkin seeds are an incredibly nutritious food to eat.
And the other pumpkin that I had earlier, that's the first thing they fought for was the seeds. So what we did, we roasted them. We washed them down a little bit and roast them. Now, one of the things that Mike told me was that you got to try to just try to get to the first layer.
Yes.
And and you can actually get it really good, the pumpkin. So, you know, sometimes, like I said, this one's a little dry, so this one would be, but sometimes they're kind of slimy, right?
Yes.
So this one's really good. So you'll get most of it.
You're basically just scraping that
first layer.
Yes.
Right? And then, like, again, don't throw the seeds away. The seeds are always good. Now, you notice that I have a flat surface, so this thing ain't going to roll anywhere.
And so it's safer to cut.
Safer, yeah. So like I said, this is what I did.
Okay.
So now I have another one. So I'm going to flip it over. So what I want to do is I want to do the same thing here.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay.
Now I got a nice one. So now what I like to do is just take your time and just, you will have to take a little bit at a time.
Yeah, yeah. You know, the pumpkin, when we say it's high in antioxidants, sometimes, you know, people hear that word and they don't really know what antioxidants are. But the fact is there's a pesky molecule in the body that is called a free radical. And a free radical is a piece of a molecule that's left over after metabolism. And these guys bounce around, and they have a highly charged side to them. And when that charged tail whips up against a cell membrane, it causes damage. And so free radicals increase our risk of cancer. They increase our risk of atherosclerosis. And the antioxidants, whether they be from pumpkin or any other fruits or vegetables or whole grains, these antioxidants neutralize this highly charged free radical, and that's where the health benefit is. So
that's good to know.
Yeah, so that's why the American Cancer Society says to eat your fruits and vegetables.
That is good to know. So Tim, this is what I got. So what we want to do now is we want to start on our soup.
Okay.
So I got a little bit of olive oil.
All right.
Okay. And this is a really good soup. And, you know, they always ask us, what about that corn, that pumpkin that we did last year, remember?
Yes, that's
so
right.
This has really turned out to be one of the really nice, popular...
In fact, I've when we were talking about this recipe, we've had one of our viewers, Miss Patricia Jones, has asked for this recipe to send to her son who's in school.
Oh, beautiful. I got some corn here, so we're going to start with the corn.
Okay.
Okay, I also have a little bit of onions.
All right. Now, I'm surprised you're starting with the corn like that.
I want to roast the corn. The pumpkin won't take take long.
Yeah.
But I want to roast and get the flavors.
Okay. All right.
So once we get that, we're going to add our pumpkin. Okay, Tim.
Okay.
So I'm going to bring it over here.
Okay.
Looks really good. You're good right there, Tim.
Okay. All right.
So Tim, we got that going. Okay. We're going to add our broth.
Okay. Okay, so we've got this browned.
Now this is a vegetable broth.
Yeah, low sodium vegetable broth. You know, I was telling someone wanted to know, one of our viewers asked, well, where do you find that low sodium vegetable broth? And so I told them, well, here in our local Brookshire's, you know, Brookshire's is one of the sponsors of the show, it's on the soup aisle. And,
right.
And sometimes you'll find it in another grocery store. You may find it in the specialty foods section. But look for the low sodium. Okay?
Okay, so we'll let this simmer for a little bit.
Okay.
So then we're going to add our carrots.
Okay.
Okay. Now when we talk about the size, you know,
people always want to know how big do I cut these pieces?
And to be honest with you, the pumpkin is going to really kind of dissolve itself.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So to make it thick, it'll help thicken up. But your carrots, any other vegetable, you want to cut them small.
You cut those carrots the same size basically as the corn.
As the corn, exactly, because you want to be able to
you just want it
soup
to be
it
consistent.
up, in a spoon. So
you don't want to have a big half round of carrot in there.
Yeah. So we're going to add a little bit of garlic, okay, Tim?
Okay.
There it goes. Beautiful. Smelling good.
Mm-hmm.
Smells like pumpkin.
Yep.
Okay. And then we're going to add a pinch, and when I say a pinch, it's a pinch of cayenne pepper.
Cayenne, okay, pinch of cayenne. And I notice you've also got in this soup, you've got, did I see cloves in this recipe?
Yeah, and I got a little cloves. So this will be good. Now, we're going to finish it off with a little bit of parsley so it stays nice and green for us, okay? And then we'll talk about heavy cream. We always mention, you know, a lot of recipes bring heavy cream, but, of course, we look at it in a healthier version of it.
So you're not going to use regular half and half. You're going to use a fat-free
half and half. And I got some right here.
And a lot of people don't know that you can get fat-free half and half. Just look, it's in the dairy section. You'll find it.
Yeah, it's spilled a little bit over there. And then, you know, you're always asking me, how do you do that? How do you throw in hot with cold? And how come it works for you, but it doesn't work for me? And then I'll show you in a little bit.
Okay.
But once we got to get this going on a little bit, and then we'll taste it, see if it needs a pinch of salt or pepper or anything else that we can flavor it, and then before we add our cream.
Well, and also in this recipe, you've got leeks in this recipe.
Yeah, and I'm saving those for a little bit for the end.
Okay.
Because I want the freshness, the crispiness.
Because I want you to show me. I want you to show me how you do these. Okay.
I got the leeks right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me show you real quick. Let me clean my board here. I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things that we did want to talk about.
Well,
was important about leeks.
You know, that when you and I first talked about leeks, it's been a while back because we've done these before, I went home and tried, but the problem was, how do you get the dirt out between the leaves of the leeks?
And then, you know, these are really, really dirty because they grow in the root. So what I like to do is this. It's pretty simple. Just cut it in half.
Okay.
All right. Now, we could go and wash one by one.
Yeah, that takes a long time.
That takes a long time.
That's what I did. It took me forever.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought this up, Tim.
I thought, you know, onions are a lot easier.
Yeah, so, and check this out. What I want to do is I'm going to cut them real, real small.
So you turned it on that flat side.
The flat side, because I don't want it to swing or anything like that. And we're just going to...
Now, see, I wouldn't have even thought to do it that way. But you didn't wash those yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
What I am going to do is I'm going to put them in a bowl and I'm going to run them through some cold water and mix it well. And that's probably the best way to do. For me, it's the best way to do it instead of having to do one by one.
So even in a colander, you could...
In a colander, yes. Run it under cold water.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to put the leeks.
And this is a general rule, like if you're cooking other stews or soups, is to make everything about the same size. Would you say that? Yeah. Okay.
Well, you want to, when you use your spoon, you want to make sure that
everything fits in
a spoon.
Yeah,
you know, not a one big piece of carrot or one big, you know, squash or whatever it is. You want to be able to take a little bit of everything. Let me clean my board for here real quick.
Okay, so my grandmother would have said that you don't want to add a dairy product to a hot liquid because it may make the dairy product curdle. And of course, when I said that,
when you
didn't like that word.
I didn't like the word curdled. So to me, the terminology would be it breaks. It separates.
It breaks, okay.
It separates.
So that's a chef term.
And there's two ways to doing it. One is always pour the cream slowly and stir as you're pouring it in. Don't pour it all at one time. Okay. Another one, which the recipe calls for us, is that we're going to take a little bit of this hot soup. Yeah. Put it here. Okay. And then we'll add a little bit of the cream here and just kind of mix it well. Yeah. And then add it to the soup. Okay.
So what you're doing basically is you're raising the temperature. If you don't mind,
go ahead and pour that.
So you're raising the temperature of the
cream so it doesn't break on us.
I see. Okay.
All right.
You want to go again?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, let me help.
There you go.
All right.
And I'll put
a little bit of hot liquid, and then you're going to pour a little bit of the dairy product into that.
There we go.
And mix it together, and then add it back into the liquid.
Now, the recipe calls for, what was it, a quarter cup or half a cup of cream, because you really don't want too much cream. The soup, the way we want the soup is to be really pumpkinish, really thick, natural, and the cream just kind of helps it
smooth it
out a little bit, the flavor. Okay. All right, we got the corn, we got the carrots, we got the leeks, we got potatoes in there, by the way.
This is beautiful.
And I'd like to see if we can just go ahead and get started with our pork.
Okay, good.
All right. So again, I have a little bit of the pumpkin here.
All right. So you're going to use pumpkin in the pork. Okay, it's everything pumpkin.
Everything
That's
pumpkin.
Good. I'm with you.
So we're going to go ahead and what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute a little bit of pumpkin, a little bit of apples. Okay. The granny apples. They're the little green ones. I have one right here. Yeah. It doesn't take much. Okay.
And you could really use any apple in this recipe. A Granny Smith has a good tart flavor, so that's
why we chose that one. But if you had the Washington Reds, if you had any other apples, it'll be just fine.
Maybe a Macintosh might be a good apple in this dish. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in our pan. Okay. Olive oil.
So this is real similar to other dishes that we've seen you do before. You're going to start by sweating your onions. You've taught us that.
Quick, yes. Yeah. And then we're going to, once we do that, we're going to add our pumpkin. Okay. And this is a quick process, okay? Yeah. Now you could peel your apple if you like. Yeah. But I'm not going to peel it.
It's pretty with that green on him.
It is, and because it also help it. It'll give it that nice crunchiness and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and dice this real quick. It's like I said, this is one of those 1, 2, 3 process. Okay, Tim.
So basically, this is a type of stuffing that you're going to use, but it's not a bread stuffing.
No. Okay. We're using pumpkin.
Okay.
So Tim, we got the pork loin.
All right.
It's a beautiful cut of pork loin. Yep. You can get it at your local grocery stores. Yeah. As a butcher, if you don't see something that you like, ask them. you know, this is very nice.
Very lean.
Very
In
lean.
fact, some people don't realize that pork loin is one of the leanest cuts of pork.
Definitely. And as you can see,
very lean.
You know what I mean? So.
This is as lean as chicken, in fact. This is when you look at the nutritional on pork loin and chicken, whether it's breast or thigh meat. This is as lean as that.
Beautiful. So what I like to do with this, there's 2 ways to doing it. One would be that we maybe slit a hole in the middle and stuff it, and then we'll. But what I like to do.
So you're going to cut it laterally. Okay.
I'm gonna cut it laterally and just kind of, because we're gonna fold it back in.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Now see, I didn't expect you to do it that way.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Because what we're gonna do, we're gonna add our parsley last to our
stuffing.
To our stuffing.
Okay.
I think we got everything there.
Yeah.
It smells wonderful too, by the way, doesn't it?
Beautiful too. All right.
Okay, let me wash my hand. If you don't mind, if you don't mind putting some right here, I'm gonna wash my hands real quick.
All right. Now you're leaving a dietitian in charge here. You know that's dangerous.
I'm watching you from back here.
Okay. All right. Okay. Keep an eye on me.
Beautiful.
That's close, huh?
No, you're doing great.
Okay. All right.
You are doing great.
All right. You know, chefs, one of the things, they don't waste anything. Okay.
Okay, so...
Is that what you wanted?
Yeah. We can put a little bit more.
Okay.
We'll put it all in there because some of it's going to fall off. And,
yeah,
you know,
that's okay.
And that's okay.
All right. You see, if a dietitian can do this, you can too. Because dietitians, we don't learn culinary skills like this. That's one of the things I love about working with you, Chef Manny. Okay.
Okay, so now here's the trick to it. We're going to fold it, but we're going to fold it
like that.
Slowly. Yeah.
So you're literally just going to roll that.
I'm going to roll it back just like it was.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, some of it's going to fall off, so we're just going to go ahead and stuff it. Now, how are we going to... So
that's what they mean when they say just stuff it.
Just stuff it.
Yeah. Okay. So how are you going to hold that together?
Okay. So here I have some butcher string.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm sure they have it at the grocery stores. It's almost like a little thicker than kite string.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
okay.
so it's pretty much.
Here,
so
you want me to cut that?
Well, actually, the way I do mine is I'm gonna start it off like putting a knot here.
Okay.
Okay. Super looking good.
I'm gonna stir this soup while we're.
Okay. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna slide it underneath, Tim.
Yeah.
And then we'll stuff all that stuff back.
Okay.
Let me slide it right under there. There we go. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it over.
Oh. Okay, so you went through that loop creating another loop.
Right.
Okay.
So now I'm going to cut it. Now that I know I have enough. Always give yourself extra.
Yeah.
Never hurts. Let me put this aside.
Okay.
Okay. So now, okay. Now here's the trick. Go back underneath.
Yeah.
Go over.
Okay.
Tighten it up a little bit, and then do it again.
You getting all this, Randy? Okay.
So it's pretty simple. You know, you could whichever way it's easier for you. Just make sure it's nice and tight.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically, you could really tie this any way. You're just doing it in such a way that. What if you went this way?
And you could do that too.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
So we have a little extra. So I'm just going to tie a little knot here.
All right.
Now, when I was going through school, one of the things that we always tighten it so tight, but when we're searing it and then we're cooking it, it kind of it hides the string, and then you don't know where to cut it. So you don't want it too tight, but you don't want it too loose.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab the pork.
Yep.
And I'm gonna sear it really nice. I'm gonna sear it there, and then nice golden brown. Okay. We want a nice golden brown. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Then what I'm going to do is we're going to finish it in the oven.
Okay.
The soup looks good, huh?
Oh, it looks beautiful. So what you're going to do, when you say sear it, you're just going to cook it on high, just a little bit on the outside.
Just to brown on the outside and finish it back in the oven.
Okay, I got you. All right. And by searing it, what you're doing is you're literally you're cooking the outside of the meat, which seals in the moisture.
Moisture.
Okay.
Keeps all the flavor inside.
Okay.
All this little extra that I have here, Tim.
Yep.
It's going to go right back in there, okay?
Okay, all right.
Now, the oven's going to be about 325 degrees.
Okay.
Now, that way, it'll give us time to cut it and stuff, slice it up real good.
Okay.
So this is wonderful.
All right.
So I'm going to throw it in here, okay, Tim?
All right.
Beautiful.
Okay, and so...
Now, when we talk about pork, chicken, and stuff like that, because what you were saying was the how do we know it's ready? How do we know it's going to be
safe.
cooked?
Yeah.
Well, when we take a temperature, and all these supermarkets have the thermometer. It's always good to have one.
Yeah,
it's a meat thermometer. Keep one in your kitchen at all times. And when you take a temperature, don't take it just because it's hot. You're taking it right here on the edge. Pick the thickest part of your entree, your main entree. So.
And in this case, it's the center where you have your dressing.
The center of it.
Yeah.
Because it's the thickest part of the... Yeah. And then we have to reach a certain temperature.
And that's where it takes longest for the heat to penetrate, is in the center.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if it was like a nice top roast or something like that, you can actually eat it medium rare, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but any pork or chicken, you really want to watch your temperature.
Okay.
165 or above, 170, 180. You know, depending on how thick and how dry you want, or you prefer your meat. But
165 is considered safe for pork, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So at about 325 for about 20 to 25 minutes, 30 minutes the most. Okay. But keep checking it, right?
And you're watching your temperature.
And you're watching your temperature inside, so it looks good. Let me flip.
That's beautiful.
Let me flip my cutting board real quick.
Okay.
Because we had raw pork there.
Yep.
And then let me get another tongue.
Okay. So you're being careful to handle this with food safety in mind.
Yeah. There we go. Thank you, Tim.
Beautiful.
Now here's the string.
Okay. So you're just going to.
So we want to cut the string. Always be careful, this is hot.
Mm-hmm. This is so beautiful. Dinner parties are coming back into vogue in the U.S. In fact, they're writing books right now about, popular books about how do you do a dinner party. This would be a perfect dinner party menu.
Especially holidays are coming up, right?
Yeah, yeah. You start with your soup, and then you bring that, you come back with your pork. You serve a nice wine with that. Look how beautiful that turned out. Talk about plate presentation. And so you can astound your guests with a delicious and healthy meal.
It's beautiful.
The cooking shows today, you can learn so much about cooking, but don't always have the health focus that we have. These dishes that you're making, Chef Manny, are reducing our risk for stroke,
wonderful.
Heart disease,
diabetes. It's just good heart healthy eating,
Yeah. Yeah.
It helps us in every which way. We just gotta. Here's some of the.
So you're just gonna take a little bit of au jus.
A little bit of the au jus and just kind of glaze it up.
Yeah.
The apple has a nice sweet flavor.
Yes.
Tart flavor.
Goes well
pumpkin.
with the pork.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Beautiful. It's hot.
Okay.
And then we're gonna sprinkle a little parsley.
Here you are being the artist again.
Beautiful.
Okay. There it is. There's the artist coming out.
And then the soup. Wait till you try this one, Tim.
Okay.
This is wonderful. Again, the soup came out really nice. Like I said, you could use a pumpkin.
My mouth is watering.
This is really good.
Okay.
And nice late afternoon.
Yes.
Beautiful.
You could serve, everybody's coming in for the holidays the evening before, guests are coming in, so you'll have your appetizers, and when everyone's through with their appetizers and they want just something a little more filling, you have your pumpkin soup ready. Beautiful. Perfect, the evening before the holiday.
So we got everything, so what are we missing?
Dessert.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay, Tim the dietitian, so let's see if you can put together this delicious holiday pumpkin dessert.
Well, I'll do my best.
Okay, I have good confidence in you. So let's start with a bowl.
Okay.
And you've got the recipe right over here.
I got it.
So
you got pumpkin?
Yeah. All right, and so you want some pumpkin in there.
Is this the vanilla?
Yes, that's it. That's right.
What is this, Manny?
Yes, that's another ingredient.
What about this?
And that's one that you need too. You have to read your recipes, dietitian Tim.
All right. Okay, I'll try this.
Okay, you can do this.
We got pumpkin.
Yeah, and this is canned pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
So this is a dessert then that we could do any time of the year. Now just remember when you're going to Brookshire's or any other grocery store, you're looking for pumpkin puree. Actually, I think this one. Let me check over here, Tim. let's see. This is, on this particular, this is the store brand, and it's called just solid packed pumpkin. So sometimes
Chef Manny, am I doing this good?
You're doing very good. Okay.
How's that looking good?
That's looking good. So this is your sugar-free vanilla pudding mix, just an instant pudding mix.
Just an instant pudding mix, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Now we're going to add the clove.
You know, Tim, you're really starting to even sound like a chef here. We just need to get you to practice this a little more.
How about a pinch of cinnamon?
You're even doing that like a chef.
There you go.
Whoa, okay.
All right.
You know,
how's that? So far, so good?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so you want your whipped topping?
No, I want my amaretto.
Oh, amaretto? Okay.
Yeah, the recipe calls for an ounce of amaretto.
Okay, an ounce of amaretto. And this could be any liqueur.
It could be any liqueur.
But this is a good one to go with these flavors. You know, chefs are always trying to blend flavors. And
if you don't have any liqueur, that's fine.
You don't have, yeah. So here's your. Let me open this for you. Okay. All right. So you want me to add that?
Yeah,
okay.
if you don't mind.
All right.
A little bit at a time.
Yeah.
So that would be like what, half the bag?
Yeah. Well, go by your recipe. You know, whenever. You know, if I was doing this, I would just use what I thought was the right amount. But if you're not a chef, that's why they give you recipes. Recipes are good guidelines.
You know, sometimes people have a hard time understanding a recipe.
Well, it's true.
And that is something that maybe we need to discuss one show.
Well, you know, that's actually, Tim, that's a good idea because you're right. You know, I've had people ask me that a lot. Is just, well, what does it mean when it says this?
This looks wonderful.
It really
Chef Manny.
does. Really does, Tim.
How's that?
That looks great. Okay, now let's just make it look pretty because, you know, chef always wants things to look pretty.
Okay, that'll be yours, and this won't be mine.
Okay. All right, you want to put you a little bit right here?
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
There we go. We'll do a little bigger one there for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well, you know,
this is wonderful.
We've learned a number of things today. One of the things, Tim, that we went over is whenever you're adding a cooked dressing into raw meat, we want to make sure that you use a meat thermometer to measure the inside temperature, keep it safe. Let's see, we've also learned a specific technique. I showed you how to, if you're adding a dairy product to a hot liquid, you don't want that to break. You say curdle, but I always say break. And we also learned, what else did we learn today? Pumpkin is a valuable nutrition food that we should be eating, not just using it as a decoration.
Exactly, and also you showed me how to
cut a pumpkin. And you really don't need a chainsaw to cut a pumpkin. You just need a good heavy knife and the knowledge and the skills to do it.
This is wonderful.
Yeah. So we'd like to thank our viewers. It's because of you that Memorial Cooking Innovations is changing the world one bite at a time. We want to say thank you to Sodexo and for making this possible. And we also want to thank our friends at the City of Lufkin for producing and distributing the show. You know, we're in 46 cities in 2 states right now, so Memorial Cooking Innovations really is changing the world one bite at a time, huh?
And we enjoy doing it.
And if you're still confused about who a chef or a dietitian is, really, he's the dietitian. I got that wrong. He's the chef, right?
Right.
And I'm the dietitian, right?
Right.
No, you're the chef.
No, you are.
No, you're the chef.
No, you're the dietitian.
No, you're the chef.
You're the dietitian.
No, you're getting me confused now. No, you're the chef.
You're the dietitian, right?
Are you sure? Stop eating it, please.